Hello there fellow NPCs, I'm Scythe, and today we're getting back into the house in Fata Morgana. And, as you might know, Morgana has taken Giselle from us, and we are trying to get her back. But in order to do so, we need to get past the door, which has 3 keyholes, and we need to find the 3 keys. We have already found the first key, and we need to go to the second room and get the second key. We have to do it in order. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. So I wonder how it's going to turn out if we actually do it in the wrong order. We'll see if I try that or not. Either way, we are on our way to Bestia, and I believe he lives in the cellar. So we will see about that. Now, let's go. So we're going downstairs to the cellar. I descend the stairs, opening the cellar door. The first time I visited this room, the smell of blood from within was nearly suffocating. Yeah, smell of blood makes sense. Now, the entire house reeks of it, and I've started to go numb to the odor. There's no one here. Am I in the wrong place? I begin exploring the cellar, hoping to maybe find a key hidden away or abandoned somewhere. As I reach my hand out to investigate one area. Yeah, there we go. A shadow leaps out of the thick darkness. Ah! It's so swift I have no time to react. My body freezes in place. A shadow stands before me, holding the tip of a blade mere inches from my face. A key. A key. You have a key. I do, yes. Cold sweat trickles down my back. My voice is shaking, and there's no hiding it. The shade appears to be glaring at me, though I cannot make out its face. After a few seconds, it withdraws its blade. Let me see it. The boy's key. Did he give it to you? In the rose garden? Yes. Are you two acquaintances? How could that be, though? You were from a completely different era and country. Who are you? No, never mind. Who you are is irrelevant to me. Are you human now? If you are speaking on my nature, then no is the only answer I can give you. You didn't kill me though. If you wanted to, you could easily skewer me where I stand. If that's what you want, I'd be happy to oblige. What did you come here for? For your key. I came to ask if you would give it to me. You mean to open that door? I need to get into the tower, yes. I see. Take it. Okay, that was easy. A man's shadow tosses the key to my feet. I'm not quite sure what to think. I didn't expect him to give it to me so readily. What? Take it. I won't stab you in the back while you're bending over. I thought you were supposed to hold on to this at all costs. I no longer have any reason to guard that key. In the past, I might have severed your head from your shoulders the moment you mention it, though. What point is the past? That's the question. I wish I knew the answer to. Hey, do you know why I'm here? Where this place is? When it is? Why can't I get out of here? What's happened to me? Tell me. I have no idea what's going on. Not a single goddamn idea. Neither do I. Get out. Take the key and get out of here. Get out! I can't bring myself to say anything to the enraged shadow, so I follow his command, picking up the key and departing the cellar. Well, that was easy. I thought I was dead for a second. This makes 2, though. What could have happened between these people? The painting mentioned a past with them, and Morgana spoke of the wicked men she cursed. Does that mean they did something awful enough to earn Morgana's spite? Right now, though, I must push onward. If I'm not mistaken, The final key should be in that room. The room with the billiards table. What is billiards anyway? I should get moving. Oh, more blood. Once I have his key, I can get into the observation tower. I'm almost certain Morgana is waiting for me there. With Giselle. So I gather up my resolve and hurry to the last room, not wanting to take even a second longer than necessary getting her back. I can hardly believe my eyes when I step into the den. In the middle of the room is a large rectangular table. Several balls roll across its surface and perched on one corner. Looking down at the floor is her. Giselle! Giselle! The question of why she's here never crosses my mind. All I feel is elation to see her once more. Oh, you're seeing the maid. There's no room for anything else in my head. I've run over to her, put my hand on her shoulder. Thank goodness you're all right! And turn her toward me. Oh no. That's old-time Giselle. What? What? Giselle! Giselle! I shake her, causing her head to droop lifelessly. There's not a trace of light in her unmoving eyes. Why, Giselle, why? Say something, Giselle. Say anything, please. This can't be. You can't be. Can't be. My mind goes blank. I can't catch my breath. The world is hazy. Why? Why is Giselle? Why did I have to find her like this? Why? I swore I would do anything. I swore I would never lose you again. No, this can't be. A thought crosses my dazed, despair-wrought mind. It's probably nothing more than vain hope, but... Not a drop of blood spilled from my breast. That's right, she doesn't bleed. So this can't be her. This isn't her. Or maybe Morgana has the power to alter Giselle's very nature. Kill her with a flick of her wrist. No, I don't even want to think about it. There's no hope to be found down that path. All I can do is pray. Beg for her to still be alive. Or, if alive isn't the right word, herself. My prayers bring me back to reality. Which is when I realize there's something hard pressed against the back of my head. Oh? A gun, yeah. I hear a harsh metallic clink. What? Ah! A piercing bang rips through the air as I drop to the hard floor. My ears are ringing painfully. Through the cloud of smoke and confusion, I see a man's silhouette. Missed. It takes several moments for me to recognize the object in his hand as a gun. Not only because it's draped in shadow, but because I've never seen one with my own eyes. Had I not witnessed what they were capable of through the stories, I would not have understood how terrifying they were. Not a problem, though. I'll finish you with the next one. Now you hold still, boy. Start running around like a rat and I can't guarantee you a painless death. Wait, hold on a second. What are you trying to kill me for? Because you make too much goddamn noise, that's why. Don't tell me you're the one who... What? I turn my gaze towards the large table. Giselle isn't here. It must have been an illusion after all. The realization sends a wave of relief through me. I still have a gun in my face, though. Curious a man you are. Does the table warrant your attention more than me? I have a request. Could you give me the key in your possession? That's all I need, and then I'll leave and stop making a racket. I'm not sure you understand your predicament, boy. Because if you think you're in a position to be asking favors, you're dumber than you look. First off, I don't even know what key you're talking about. I don't believe that. The other two had keys. You're telling me they gave you their keys. It sounds like they really do know each other. See for yourself. I believe you should recognize these. Are you collecting them to enter the tower? Are you going to see Morgana? There seems to be a hint of tension in the man's voice. Though I can't see his face, I can sense the waves forming within him. I brace myself for either rejection or hot lead, but the apparition gives me neither. Take me with you. What? You have the other 2 keys, don't you? Then you can open the door. Bring me to the witch. Wait, slow down. What are you planning to do when you see her? What do you think? She has to... He's gone. She has to what? What was he trying to say? That's interesting. So, he vanished when he decided to confront Morgana, basically. On the floor where the shade stood is a new key. Curious though I am about his last words. This makes 3. I have all the keys now. Are you trying to rile me up, Morgana? Are you enjoying yourself up there, showing me these phantoms and watching me squirm? Just you wait. I'm on my way. I give the room a brief once-over before making my way back to the chapel. Dripping blood. And 3. The keys fit perfectly in the opening on the locks, and when I insert the last one, it clicks open. The chain sealing the door falling to the floor. They're waiting beyond this door, at the top of the stairs. I start pondering what I can even do in a face-off against Morgana, which sends a nervous shudder down my spine. I'm not going to back down regardless, but she is a witch, and I'm a mere human. Formerly human. I'm not a master swordsman, nor do I wield a gun. I have nothing at all which to fight her. I still have to confront the witch though, no matter what. As laughably reckless, as foolish as I may be, I have no other option. I place my hand on the door, preparing to climb the tower where I once spent my last breath, Giselle locked safely away in the chamber at the top. The tower where I first met the witch. No hesitation. The sound of blood streaming down the stairs echoes of the stone walls. Oh, is that what it is? Blood streaming. Interesting that is the sound Giselle was making as well. Huh. Although I have begun growing numb to the house's otherworldly ornamentation, the sight of seemingly endless river of blood flowing down the spiral staircase sends a chill through me. So does that mean that her blood was flowing, but just simply not through her? Is that the sound she was making? Every step I climb makes a splat noise. When I reach a window, I look out to see a churning reddish-black fog. Now this brings me back. You climbing the stairs alone just like old times. Morgana. I waited so long for someone like you to show up. Someone with enough despair to resurrect me. Give her back. But now, I don't see it in you. I don't feel one bit of that intense hopelessness anymore. Give her back! And here I thought we were cut from the same cloth. Morgana! Yes, I'll give her back, if you can make it to me without losing yourself. I will not give up. It doesn't matter what you do. Looking up, I can see how far the stairs extend. It's just a gaping blackness, so I have no way of knowing for sure whether I'm getting any closer. Around and around, around and around, around and around. Beneath me, the blood river traces the same path in reverse. I start to wonder if the staircase even does end. If I'm not just eternally retracing my own steps. But I continue climbing regardless. It's all I can do. Put one foot in front of the other and hope I make it to the top. Morgana, what is this place? What did you do to it? What is it? Why, it's the mansion you lived in for a decade, of course. You look at this and tell me it's the same house. What's with the blood everywhere? And the 3 shadows. Now, my dear, no need to raise your voice. And you're being impolite, one question at a time. Answer me! What is this place? That's immaterial. Even if I were to give you an answer you found satisfying, what would that knowledge do for you? Your objective is to reach the top of these stairs and rescue Giselle. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't that right? Or by chance, have you taken an interest in me? Despite never once asking me about myself before. My gut tells me that without knowing what this place is, without even the briefest glimpse at its nature, I won't be able to safely get her back. Without knowing what I'm up against, I don't stand a chance. Please tell me about this mansion, Morgana. About yourself. What are you, Morgana? A witch. No, that's not what I'm asking. Why do you have the powers you do? What are you? Yes, I get it. Humans feel the need to attach names to things and phenomena they don't understand. I understand that feeling very well. Which is why I'm sure you'll be rather disappointed when I reveal the truth. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'm an ordinary human. That's not possible. You expect me to believe a human created this illusion? Then are you saying I'm a magician or a wizard like you might see in a fairy tale? I would believe that, of you being human. Think back then, would you? Recall our time together. Did I ever once use magic? Did I control fire or wind? Did I create illusions? No, I did none of that. Because I could not. To you, when you were alive, I suppose you could say, I was not but a simple ghost. A rather mischievous, but otherwise powerless spirit. And I was nothing more to those three men either. The witch Morgana was never anything but a wretched phantom haunting this old house. But then, how do you explain this? Michelle, my dear. We're not the same beings we once were. We're different than we were in the realm of light, the era of the living. You figured that much out though, haven't you? That you're already dead. Okay, so yeah, this place is not in the material world. I thought it was a place between dimensions of in some pocket of time, but you're making it sound like it's part of hell or something now. Yes, I know. I know I couldn't possibly be alive. Yet, you still view this world through the lens of the living. You make no effort to see it as the land of the dead. Tell me, why would you think that the realm of the living and dead are the same? Though the worlds behind each door were so vibrant, the mansion itself never had any color. They were the memories of the past, of the land of the living, of times forever lost to us. Our lives have already come to an end, my dear. Every last soul within these walls is dead. This is the world that lies beyond the end. It is my world. This is the afterlife. Why get caught up in the minutiae? That's a difficult word. None of us has a future, so what reason is there for you to desperately obsess over taking Giselle back? Just like you, she's long since dead. Okay, so when we exited the house the first time around, I'm guessing that was also an illusion, which essentially drove him to kill himself in the afterlife. It wasn't that he couldn't find the white-haired girl. It was that somehow his spirit was deteriorating when he made the wrong choice, when he left the mansion. That's what it seems like in a way. She's a walking corpse. It's nothing I didn't know already, but hearing her say it, it's like a kick to the gut. Dead or alive, she still lives on within this house, and my spirit found its way back too. Why then? Should I not wish for her to have a future? No matter what form it may take. No matter if my choices erase her from this world entirely. Having seen what lies beyond the door in her heart, what happened in all those hundreds of years, I could never let her remain here with you. Trapped in this world bereft of light. Drifting aimlessly for all eternity. So determined you feel the need to raise your voice. But you're not going to budge on that point, I see. I ask you this again, Morgana. Please tell me about yourself. How did you become a witch? How did you end up attached to this house? I want to hear your story. You honestly want to know about me? I do now, yes. But not for me. For her, right? Don't be shy now, it's the truth, isn't it? Besides, if you did say it was for me, not her, I might die of laughter. As you wish. You have seen many tales of people's lives since arriving here, and now you shall see mine. Though I ask you this, will you writhe in despair with me? Will you endure the maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair again and again and again? Isn't that what she said previously? Cursor stopped working, so let's see here. Isn't that, let's see here. Will you endure maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair? I think, was that in the red text in door 4? Or something like that. I think it might have been. As I said before, if that is what you want from me. Let me tell you something though, my dear. It will not be as easy to watch as you imagine. Now that you've reclaimed yourself, you will be able to feel all my pain as if it were your own, to resonate with it. Resonate with it. You no longer have your little guardian with you either. My guardian? She was always protecting me. You'll have a wonderful time, I'm sure. It's a tale that could have only taken place in the era of miracles and spirituality. Wondrous and weird, senseless and stupid, hopelessly tragic. Will you watch it with me? We will. As soon as the final word leaves her mouth, I'm engulfed in darkness, not even given a moment to brace myself. Ah! The tower stairs crumble beneath me. My feet have nowhere to go, as I'm being battered by the roaring blood river. My consciousness melts with another. Is this where we start door 7? It doesn't say, but I guess that would make sense. I carry within me the child of God. That is where it all began. The words of one foolish woman determined the course of my entire life. Before I was even born, my fate was decided. Did her claim come from faith? Was it her way of escaping reality? Did she do it for money or fame? I don't know. I have been visited by an angel of the Lord. The village where she lived had suffered from years of poor harvest. It had been months since the last rain, and all the villagers prayed desperately to be blessed with succor. I am with child, though I have known no man. So proclaimed a pregnant woman in the midst of the drought. And, on the day of my birth, the very moment I let out my first cry, a heavy rain fell down upon the village. The storm quenched the parched earth, nourishing the crops and saving the village. The villagers were astounded, for they had thought the drought would never end. As plum drops of rain poured down upon the village, they gathered around newborn me in exultation. Ah, she is the child of God! Perhaps there would be more wonder in claiming I had magical powers. Perhaps it would make a better story if I were to say there were higher forces involved. But all these years later, here is what I truly think. It was nothing more than a fluke. An improbable stroke of luck. An unbelievably fortunate accident for my mother and the village, and an indescribable unfortunate accident for myself. I am with child, though I have known no man. As if that's even possible. Maybe she had fooled around with a man who had gone and abandoned her, and she spouted those lies to convince herself it had never happened. None of the village men made any claim to be my father. Perhaps he was someone else's husband, and as such he couldn't reveal himself, as adultery is a sin in the eyes of God. The girl they were praised as the child of God was, indeed, not more than an ordinary daughter of a wretched woman. At the time, though, I thought differently. I believed my mother's words, convinced I was a saint, and it gave me that sense of duty, a purpose, rather than superiority. As the daughter of God, I believed that it was my responsibility to help anyone in need. So every day I prayed, I asked my father what I could do, what I was meant to do. Not everyone is equally good, however. There will always be someone who lends their ear to the devil's whispers. One man claimed I was the daughter of a charlatan. He shouted for all to hear, "If you really are the child of God, then perform a miracle for us." Could he have been any more unreasonable? Miracles are neither magic nor parlor tricks. They are realized through the power of faith. A lowly villager has no place demanding God prove his own divinity. It is the height of arrogance. But the man refused to heed my words. So having no other choice, I contemplated what I could do to show him I was indeed a saint. And the blood was the spark of my inspiration. Michelle, the time when I lived and the time when you lived were not so different. Our views and beliefs about the world are very much the same. So you should understand that in our time, blood was seen as unclean. It was a dreadful thing, ridden with diseases, which is why we drained the blood from animals and purified the flesh before consuming it. Islam? Or is it Judaism? I don't know if it's Christianity. But being a saint, my blood would have been different. But yeah, I'm not sure if the other ones have saints though. They have prophets. Like the blood of the saints who came before me, mine would be blessed. I believed it would be able to cleanse people's impurities. For my demonstration, I chose an elderly woman afflicted with a terrible disease. She was on her deathbed, and no one thought she would live for longer than another day or two. The woman was overjoyed when I came to visit her. Sincerely believing me to be a holy servant of the Lord, she gathered all the strength she could muster to climb from her bed and kiss my feet. I felt an intensely deep love for this woman. Placing my hands upon her cheeks, I said with all the kindness in my heart, "My beloved sister, partake of my blood." The woman agreed without a glimpse of hesitation, and so I pricked the tip of my finger with a knife and let the blood drip into her mouth. Within 3 days, her health had improved enough for her to get out of bed unassisted. Seeing that, no one in the village doubted my powers any longer. In fact, the man who had accused me of being the daughter of a charlatan was subsequently punished for his sins. He received much deserved retribution for challenging the daughter of God, for mocking her. But of course, being a saint, I forgave the man. He in turn repented and changed his ways, worshipping me as a true child of God. Now, I'll be honest with you. I was ecstatic, utterly elated. I felt like I was on top of the world, and I reveled in it. The villagers showered me with adulation. They revered me, the daughter of God. Anyone who didn't was punished. And on top of that, my blood could cause miracles. Tell me, do you look down on me for feeling the way I did? The actual child of God would never let herself be consumed by such base emotions, would she? But if you would give me a chance, I would like to explain myself. I was but a young girl at the time, and to a child her mother is the world. Anything she says is the absolute truth. So when my mother's claims so happened to coincide with a lucky miracle, my young mind was set in stone. I was a saint. My blood could heal the sick, and nothing would convince me otherwise. After all, I was but a girl of 6 years old. It is not my place to decide whether my blood truly had miraculous powers or not. If you think it did, then it did, and if you think it was all happenstance, then so it was. Miracles are brought about by faith, so the elderly woman who was healed was done so by the power of her own belief. Baseless hope and desires can, at times, make the otherwise impossible reality. You understand just how major a role religion played in our time, don't you, Michelle? Especially as someone whose life was taken from him in the name of God. And you understand how powerful word of mouth can be as well, don't you? It didn't take long for the word of the miracle-performing child of God to spread. Travelers from faraway lands came to our village, all in search of our aid. Driven by a mixture of elation and duty, I gave my blessings unto every pilgrim who sought them. I gave them my blood, yes. My young hands were perpetually covered in wounds. Running out of skin on my fingers, I cut the back of my hand, my palms, my wrists. Before long, they had turned into swollen, carved-up black and red horrors. And so, I kept them wrapped in cloth at all times. The only time I uncovered them was to give blood to those who sought it. My lacerated hands were, in no uncertain terms, gruesome and unsightly. But the believers who came to see me all wept at my selfless sacrifice. and so I came to cherish those wounds. There were some for whom no miracle took place, but whenever that would happen, the villagers would come out and say, "The daughter of God is not to blame, you simply lack sufficient faith." Thus, such incidents had no negative effect on my reputation as a saint. For 3 years, I continued doling out blessings. One day, while I was offering a prayer, my mother let slip her discontent. "Why must you hand out miracles for nothing? Why must you give strangers grace? We should be getting compensated. We deserve remuneration. If we charge just a little bit for each blessing, we would be living so much more comfortably." I was dumbfounded. How could the mother of saints say such things? Helping people was my divine calling, and she expected payment. I nearly wept, hearing my mother preoccupied with such worldly desires, so I explained to her how important this work was. I told her that we were not there to covet the material wealth, that we were to dedicate our lives to the service of our fellow man. "You're right, my dear saint," she said, understanding. And I believed her. I fell asleep that night convinced she truly understood and that there would be no more problems. But the next day, I was sold off. Men I had never seen before carried me by the arms and tossed me into a carriage. Confused and panicked, I stuck my head out, searching for my mother. Off in the shadows of the house, I saw her with a strange man, accepting a bag of coins. The carriage rocked back and forth as it rolled along the dirt road. Shaking and bouncing within it, I struggled with overwhelming grief and despair. It was perhaps the first time in my life I had felt such a powerful emotion. I didn't know what I felt so much despair over, though. Obviously, it was over my present predicament, but I wasn't sure what about it hurt the most. Was it that I had been pawned off like a slave? Was it that my mother, the mother of a saint, had been blinded by money? Was it that the villagers had watched in silence as a disciple of the Lord was thrown into a carriage? Or was it that I, daughter of God, lamented my misfortune like a mortal? I decided it was a trial. My father, the Lord God, was testing my worthiness of being his daughter. So I choked back my urge to cry and sat there in a silent contemplation. For almost 3 weeks was I rocked around in the carriage. The coachman treated me well enough, but I'm certain it was only because he didn't want this precious cargo dying before he could deliver it. He did not by any means think me the child of God. The 3rd week, the carriage arrived at the city. It was much larger than the village I had grown up in, with many, many more people crowding in the streets. Something about them felt different too. They all spoke in a tongue foreign to me, which is when I realized I was far, far away from home. I was delivered to the lavishly decorated mansion of the region's lord. Brightly colored flowers bloomed wildly in the garden as guests laughed and ate extravagant meals. And in addition to them, there were probably 4 times as many slaves moving about the grounds. Getting a range of looks from everyone we passed, from smartly dressed men to scrawny, emaciated servants, I was led to the Lord's chambers. The Lord was surrounded by beautiful women. Perhaps they were slaves, or perhaps they were prostitutes. I couldn't tell. Among them were some girls hardly older than me, so in their not even teens yet, quite possibly. They all wore thin swaths of cloth, barely covering themselves at all. The Lord looked me up and down, and with a laugh he said, "Welcome, daughter of God. You'll be performing miracles for me now." Miracles are not something to be performed for one single person's benefit, I replied, shocked and furious. He had just said something so utterly blasphemous. In response he said, "I bought you. You are my property. You have no right to an opinion." But I would not have any of it. I entreated him to give up his indulgent lifestyle and devote himself to the service of the Lord. But the more I pleaded, the deeper the creases on his face grew. Thinking back on it now, it was hardly surprising. A 9-year-old girl was scolding the most powerful man in the region. I believed it was my duty and that I was only doing what was right, but he surely saw it as incredible arrogance. So the Lord forced his will upon me. He bound my hands and feet and cut me without my permission, filling a goblet with blood and passing it around to his guests. A saint's blood and a good fortune to all. That was when I realized the Lord was only interested in the approval of others. He reveled in their envy as he pranced about, showing off his curious new toy. Me. He didn't need my miracles. Neither he nor any of his guests were afflicted with disease or misfortune. They were all richly blessed. Every time he threw a banquet, he drained me of my blood. It became nearly impossible to find a spot on neither of my arms that wasn't a swollen reddish black gash. And soon, because my arms weren't providing enough blood for him, the cutting spread to my legs. I lived in a haze of half-consciousness. Honestly, I'm amazed that it didn't kill me, though perhaps the Lord was simply taking care not to take more than my body could spare. Watching the wealthier partygoers laugh and sip my blood through her bleary eyes, another wave of despair came over me. My miracles, my blood, were not meant to be appetizers at a feast. They were meant for the sick and the poor. But despite my wishes, the Lord persisted to squeeze me dry day in and day out for his own enjoyment. For a while, I was convinced it was all God's test. That it was part of his plan for me, his daughter. That if I could make it through this trial, I would be allowed to go back to the helping people. That man would celebrate my success, envy me, worship me. That sinners would face punishment. That divine retribution would be delivered unto all who had wronged me, a saint. With each passing day, my spirit grew more twisted. Would anyone have believed that scarred and blooded girl tied up on the floor in the banquet hall was a saint? Unlikely. This was no charitable gathering, but an unholy Sabbath. Perhaps it was caused by my corrupted spirit. Perhaps it was my heart's way of crying for help. Or perhaps it was the devil giving me my witch's mark. But no matter what the cause, during one of the bloody banquets, I underwent a transformation. I was half conscious as usual, when one of the guests pointed at me and shouted something. His face went pale, as if he were afraid, which I found quite curious. The Lord had then approached me, grabbing me by the hair and lifting my head. He yelled something, but I was too far gone to be able to make out what he was saying. Suddenly, I found myself released from my bonds, but my body had grown so weak from being tied up for so long, I didn't have the strength to hold myself up, and so I collapsed to the floor. I was still trying to figure out what was happening when the Lord drew a sword, raising it high above his head. His words in that moment reached me with perfect clarity. "You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin." A witch? Why was he calling me a witch? I was the holy daughter of God. I had certainly never made a pact with the devil. What could have given him that idea? What was in store for me now? Had God performed some kind of miracle for him? Dozens of thoughts and questions floated through my mind as death hung over me. I couldn't comprehend anything, and so I didn't feel any fear or anger at my impending death. I was simply curious. What had happened to me? But before I had a chance to find that answer, the Lord swung down his blade. Without warning, without any time to prepare, the darkness drains away. And a second later, I crash into the stairs, hard. And that will be the end of today's video. Very interesting. So some people in the Fata Morgana forums said that I would not be able to handle a lot of the future things. The thing is, though, I don't cry about despair and shit like that. I cry because it happens so many times. It's kind of fun to read about because it gives an insight to what people are capable of imagining and things like that. And I am not unused to those thoughts. Does that make sense? I read a lot of weird stuff. I used to. But yeah, so if it's going to be more like this, I'm just going to have fun reading it. So yeah, that will be it for today. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you Joseph for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye everyone.